What's going on, everybody? Fragged out, swagged out, and you already know why I'm here and why these skulls are out today. The fragrance I'm going to speak to you about today has a little bit of a morbid philosophy behind it, but not really if you think about it. It tries to encapsulate the philosophy of Memento Mori, which is Latin for remember you must die, or remember you will die, or however you feel like saying it. Long story short, keep in mind that at the end of all these things we do, death awaits. So enjoy life while you're here. And how do you enjoy it? With some of those things that we're very cautionary of: whiskey, rum, cognac. Maybe you don't like to, for whatever health reasons, indulge too much in your chocolate and your coffee. All those things, and they're in here. Now, how much of it is in here, I don't know, because Kilian is very funny with how they tell you about their notes. So on their website, it just says keynotes, rum, coffee, and cyanide. There is no cyanide in here. We will all be dead for those who have tried this. So cyanide here represents something mystical in the background that you will enjoy now, that can be hidden behind sweeter things and ultimately cause death, because eventually we will die, but there's no cyanide here. What it does say is Olfactive Family, the Cellars. It says woods in all their forms, from sandalwood to cedarwood, from patchouli to vetiver, but always with a Kilian twist: rum, coffee, cacao, cognac, whiskey, as a reminder of the Kilian Hennessy's heritage. Cool. So that didn't really tell us exactly what's in here, but it gives us a very good idea, somewhere to start. Fragrantica also adds notes of heliotrope, almond, and caramel, and though it does not say it on this website, if you smell it, I believe it. So we will spray this on. Well, what we will do is just presentation is very typical of Kilian's presentations. On the top it has that K. This is the gunmetal cap. I don't have the box anymore, which is weird because it's the nicest box, and I got rid of it at the time when I felt I was just collecting way too many boxes, and I do regret it now. But what can you do? So, spray. This is an amazing fragrance, by the way. So weird that, you know, it's meant to remind you of your death, when ultimately this reminds me of great times, of wonderful things. This is sweet, it's boozy, it's a little woody. What's funny, so I sprayed over here before I did any of this. And I like the transition because in this opening, I do get that vetiver. It has something of a woody green essence to it, but it doesn't stay that way. And even with that, it opens very boozy, slightly green, and you get some of that that coffee. So you get a coffee with booze in it, almost like and I think a lot of the idea here was an Irish whiskey, because that's what you get when you think about it. And this fragrance starts to transition. It loses a lot of the green. It keeps a lot of the booze, a lot of the coffee. You get elements of cacao, and not a saucy chocolate, but a dry cacao, almost like something you would add to a coffee to add a little bit of flavor, or even as a decorative accent, but it's there and it's noticeable. That patchouli I like because it blends well with the cacao, and it brings forward this chocolatey feel that is not too overly chocolate saucy type, but it's there. It's a patchouli. It's not meant to be chocolate, but it marries well with the cacao to create that effect. And then you have all your different booze. You have that whiskey, you have that rum, you have that cognac. They're all different. They all do different little things, ultimately creating this really nice boozy accord that just blended really well. I don't know if it leans in any type of spirit way, but I would venture to say whiskey overall. Yeah, and it's just really nice. So do I pick up on the cyanide? No, not at all. No cyanide here. But yes, the boozy coffee cacao to me is what really tells the story of this fragrance. So ultimately, if I had to die smelling like something, maybe this. And if I had to die doing something, is enjoying all those elements in here, all those things that we are caution not to over partake in all the spirits, all the coffee, all the gourmand. It does have a very nice gourmand balance by that boozy element. If you love boozy fragrances, you're gonna find with this, it's really nice and not overdone to where it's realistic and they don't add too many chemicals in the background to try to amplify it to make it smell overly boozy just to give that realistic effect. It's realistic on its own and it works well with that coffee, that chocolate, and quite possibly caramel because there is a nice sweetness to it. It doesn't become cloying. If anything, it becomes very creamy. And, you know, if you pay attention to that first line where it say everything from sandalwood to cedarwood, I'm sure that sandalwood is helping create a creamy effect, which brings me back to that Irish coffee concept. Ultimately, this is a wonderful, wonderful fragrance. If you wear it, you're not going to be brought down in your mood. It doesn't feel dark and ominous as it would suggest. If you want a fragrance like that, look at the cousin of this one. You can call it what they call the partner in crime, Dark Lord. I tried that one. I can't get along with it. But this right here, Black Phantom, amazing, boozy, gourmand leaning fragrance that I love. I wish I kept the box, of course. If you're able to still get that box, keep it. Throw away the other ones, but keep this one. Yeah, I like it. I don't rate from 1 to 10 like that. Every now and then, if I get really excited, I might throw those out. But as typical with Kilian, they smell great. They perform really nice within the first maybe 2 hours, and then they become very skin scent fragrance. I'm not mad at it. I love it. If I need to, I'll reapply. Realistically, like, to me, it's worth it because I love the fragrance itself. The performance, maybe, you know, could do better, but ultimately, I like the smell, not necessarily all the other aspects. So as far as this smell goes, I love it. I do recommend it. If you need to carry it around with you to spray a couple more spray throughout the day, then that's something you do. But I love this fragrance, yeah. So if you're into boozy, gourmand leaning fragrances, and if you can imagine a really nice, creamy, gourmand leaning Irish whiskey, it's in here. This is Black Phantom from Kilian. That's all I have for you today. If you've watched this long, thank you very much for watching. If you have something to add to the discussion, go ahead and add it in the comments. If there's something I left out, go ahead and add it to the comments. If you liked this video, if you enjoyed it, if you learned something, please go ahead and hit the like buttons. And if you're not following yet, why not? You're already here watching it. I'm going to bring you more content. Maybe one of the fragrances that you want to see reviewed. I'll get to it eventually, I'm sure, because it's probably back there somewhere. That's all I have. Again, like I said, this is fragged out, swagged out, and I'm out.